Alright, we just got this row ready. We took the row cover that was on here, moved it over. I just used the broad fork and then raked it. And we're going to be putting seeds in all these remaining rows while taking the covers and smothering the stuff that's already growing. We definitely have a little bit of weeding to do over here. This has kind of gotten away from us. But we've gotten a lot of rain the past few days, so I think everything we've planted is doing pretty good. So we're just going to keep working on this, and like I said, we're going to move row to row. I'll show you how we do as we progress. Alright, I forgot where we left off on the last video, but got another row done. I've shown this little tool before. My sister got us this. It's this basket. It's a wire basket you can put your veggies in when you pick them at harvest and rinse them off easily. And this goes on top, but this has a bunch of little dowels on it, so when we push it in the ground it makes neat and tidy little holes to plant all the seeds in. So now Sarah can just go down the row and drop seeds in and push the soil over top, and it all works really easily. Whew. Alright, well, I'm gonna get to doing these rows. This is like the worst of the whole garden. These 3 rows have the worst growth in the middle. Okay, well, we didn't get all the rows done, but we got a lot done. We just put the bird netting up. Sarah got everything planted, and the bird netting is on 4 rows. What do you think, dear?
That was a lot of work.
Yeah, it was. Whoops. Watch it. Alright, well, I think that's all for us for tonight. Thanks for joining. I hope the garden does okay this year. It's been a lot of work. I'll see you on the next one. Hello. Here's a funny story. I don't think I ever uploaded the finished parts, the finished video clips of this water project here. Like I turned on the water and it was all running, and I'm like, yay, good job, Joe, you finished a project, and it worked. What happened, I don't know why I forgot to put that in a video. Anyway, I'm gonna play that now. Hello, happy Friday. I am going to try and get this wretched water project done with. I've been staring at this thing for so long. I'm ready to be done with it, so I hope by today I'll have flowing water. I'm going to drill a hole through here. I'm going to get this end all connected, and I'm going to go to the other side and get that all connected, and I hope it'll all work, and I hope it won't take me like forever. So I'm going to get working. Hopefully we'll get it done today. I hope you can see me in my shenanigans. Okay, let's go. Let's just eyeball it. So this is actually like a 1/16 of an inch more than a 1/2 inch, which is the biggest drill bit I currently have. I could probably go dig around and find those other drills, but you know, we're kind of rednecking this thing, so I'm just gonna do this. Oh, right there. Almost there. Yassa! Okay, we are through. Great success. Alright. So now, that's a little tight. Alright, check it out. Ugh. So, we're appropriately in there. Now, I have to take this shark bite fitting, shark bite on one end, threads on the other. I actually probably need to go outside and grab this, put some tape on it, pipe tape, and then make the connection that way. So, I'll go do that. We'll be right back. Alright, so I doubt you can see much of what I'm doing up there, but I got the pipe tape put on there, and of course nothing is as easy as it seems. I wanted to put the little adapter on and slide the whole thing through, but it's too big and there's no way I'm going to destroy another drill trying to get it through. So we'll do it live. So there is one little caveat. I didn't mount the spigot yet, and I think I probably should do that before I hook it up, because I don't want to connect the PEX line and, you know, have it be all twisted in there. And so I think I'm going to go mount it to the wall. Yeah, and then cram the PEX in there. So pretty much the only reason I'm doing this project right now, I mean, I need the water soon-ish, but this project could have waited. It's like 37 degrees and raining right now, and it's, I don't know, middle of May. It's pretty cold, considering it's been up in like the 80s. Look, you can see my breath right now. Like, it's that cold, and it's just nasty out. It's been raining all day. Luckily the plants seem to be enjoying it. Our little transplant tree doing well. The dandelions have totally taken over, but they all folded up today since there's no sun. But okay, well, enough of that. I need to get this thing hooked up because it's just cold and unpleasant. So I'm gonna go do this. Of course, nothing can just be easy, so I can't really do this with both hands, but this thing here, the spigot, so I tried to drill the pilot holes this way, but look, I can't get close enough because the handle's too big. I'll be on an angle, and now that I put the little nipple on the end, I can't pull it out and turning the thing sideways. I can't get a straight shot now. Okay, I've chosen my new least favorite thing to do, and that is drilling through masonry. This is garbage. Like, this is a brand new DeWalt bit, and it just, oh, I took the stupid knob off. That's a brand new masonry bit, and it's like not doing anything. I'm gonna burn out this drill before, I don't know, the guy at Home Depot told me that this is what I needed. They're little casings that you jam in there and then you put a screw in. I feel like I've seen like concrete masonry screws that are like blue or something, but like this is what he told me to use, and I just don't think I'm in the mood to do this today, so I'm gonna just finish the inside stuff. I can't work out in this 37-degree rain. I don't know. This project needs to end. I don't really care if it's not secured properly. Maybe I'll just caulk the crap out of it and get those blue masonry screws to put in there, but I'm done with this outside piece for today. Bah. Carbide tip aggressively penetrates surfaces. False. Okay, well, I just made the connection. I just literally squeezed those two ends together. So we'll see if that's enough. I hope it is. Okay, let's go do the other side. Okay, I turned off the water and I just drained what I could from outside. Now I know it's still got some water in it. Excuse me. Oh, this ought to be interesting. Got my little cutter tool. I guess a towel wouldn't have been a bad idea. Alright, let's get this cleaned up. Oh, no, you're not done. This is probably what changing a diaper on a kid is like. Alright, let me show you what I've done here. Alright, so I cut it, I polished it inside and out, and now we're going to put the shark bite fitting on it. Okay, that was pretty straightforward. Not terrible. I'm going to kind of shoot the line up high over the valve here. And so it's really straightforward on copper. You just cram them together. When you do PEX, you have to add this little adapter in there. You stick this in there, and that way the clamps, the shark teeth, don't crimp or squeeze the PEX and therefore break your seal. On the other end, where I just installed the threaded tip to the frost-free valve, that had one built in. That thing was built specifically to go threaded to PEX, so that was built in, so I didn't have to add it, but I will have to add it right up in. Let's see if I can do this. Right like that. Goes in there. So I started to cut. I thought I was supposed to use the little tool to cut the PEX, but now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure the guy at the plumbing supply store said I could just use a razor. So I think I'm just going to do that. Pretty much the instruction just said make sure you have a straight, even cut, that there's not a slant to it or anything. So I'll do that. Okay, I successfully just manhandled it with the X-Acto knife. If you're going to be doing any more than like 3 cuts, I would recommend just buying that stupid tool they have that you like ratchet down and cut it, because that was a bit of a workout. I had to take my hat off, I got so warm. Okay, so I have this little piece here. I cut this guy to length. Where did you go? Okay, you. This guy is to length, right up to the spigot up there, and pretty much I'm going to put this little short piece in. Then we're going to go to the shut-off here, and then we'll connect to the rest of the house. So I'm going to make sure I use all the proper little fittings, go in there to give it a proper crimp. We'll see how we do. Okay, I think I have it all hooked up now. So we've got the main here, and then that goes out to the garage. This is all squeezed together, it's in the on position, and then this line runs over to the other side of the house, and it comes all the way over here where it terminates right up in there. I think what I dislike the most about plumbing is, like, you know, with electrical, if you wire something wrong, you might zap yourself, as long as you're not dealing with 220. You might zap yourself, you know, you might make a couple sparks, but like it'll trip a breaker, and you know, there's really no harm, no foul. The thing about plumbing is, like, you do all this stuff, you're running water from here to there. If it goes wrong, water just goes everywhere.
And especially if you're working in a finished space, as I am, like, that's a big deal. It's a huge mess to clean up, and I've definitely had the projects that go sideways, and then it's like another hour to clean up and dry out your carpet and do all this stuff. I just hope this works. I guess I'll go turn it on. Alright, well, this is no joke, real deal. I haven't turned this on, so you'll be watching it live. If it goes sideways on me, well, let's just hope it doesn't. Okay, here we go. Spinning up to 2. I think we're good. I don't hear the water running. I don't see any drips. Alright, let's go check the other side. Doesn't feel wet. Alright, well, one more place to check. Alright, Spigot, it's just you and me now. Excelsior! Excelsior! Okay, well, make sure that's off. Well, I think the only thing I have left to do then is to just secure it to the wall, run a little bit of caulk around it, and we've finally finished this project, almost, pretty much. That'll be really helpful. Now I can just water the garden endlessly. I don't have to worry about burning out my system and replacing salt every month or whatever. It's gonna be great. Alright, well, it's Friday, so I'm gonna go enjoy my Friday. Thank you for joining me. See you on the next one. So that all happened, and then literally, like, I put the camera away and came back downstairs to just clean stuff up, put the tools away, which I ended up leaving here anyway. Put the tools away, and I happened to check on this, and there was a little drip, dripping water. So I didn't have the energy to deal with it. I just shut off the water at the lever I installed. Luckily, the other end was not leaking at all. Everything was fine. The only place that's dripping, so I shut off the water, drained the line where I could. It's dripping right here at the thread connection where the silcock threads into the adapter for the PEX. I do not believe the PEX part, you know, the adapter, the shark bite adapter to the PEX is leaking. I don't think that's where it was leaking. The drip was here. I mean, I guess it could have come from any of this, so so what I'm going to do now is just take the thing apart. I hope I didn't cross-thread that silcock and adapter, because if I did, I'm probably going to have to like buy a new one, and that would suck. So, I'm going to take it apart. Probably going to get water dumped all over me, but I'll spare you that and just show you what happens when I take it down. I nicked the water line. I was trying to cut a bigger hole above it with this drill bit, and I drilled the hole above it, and I got impatient and I hit the water line. Okay, well, I guess I gotta cut that and take it apart anyway. Oh, good times, good joyous times. Alright, so I cut the shark bite fitting off, and I don't have the right tool, obviously, to take that fitting off. So I'm trying to see if there's any hacks using like needle nose pliers or using things. But I did notice when I'm looking in here, and I doubt this camera's going to pick it up, right up at I can't even give you an indicator. At the top there, I can see the edge of the pecs. I obviously didn't get a very clean cut with, and there's a very small divot that I suspect is the cause for the leak. I hope that's what it is anyway. So in theory, if I can get this piece out... Oh wait, no, that's the fitting. I wonder if that fitting is chipped. Alright, I need to look a little closer. Okay, I'm pretty sure I didn't screw up here. I'm pretty sure this is a part failure, which I guess you could argue I should have checked before I put it in, but I didn't know what I was doing. Look at this. So I have these two fittings were from the, let's see, 3/4 inch pipe, because this is 1/2 inch. That I put the copper in, so I didn't have to use those. But when I look closely at them, there's no like divots or chips or anything. They're just solid. But when I look inside of this guy, yeah, it's right at like the 12 o'clock position. Yeah, I think you can see it. It's that little black dot. That's the collar, and that's not supposed to have a hole in it. Oh, honey, it wasn't my fault. It was the fitting. It wasn't my fault. Well, it doesn't really change much other than it wasn't my fault. I still need to get this piece out and put it all back together. So I'm probably gonna have to go to the store to get this piece. I don't have a replacement one. Okay, well, the water install saga continues. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, that's enough water project for one night. I think I need to just go order some parts online and deal with that another day. With my remaining daylight, I'm going to try to get this sorted out. So, I have 3 new blades. The consensus on the internet, and I'll tell you, I posted a question on that Kubota, it's just like a Kubota enthusiast group on Facebook, and got like 120 answers. But that was insightful. It was helpful. They kind of helped me come to the conclusion that it's just easier to get another set of blades that's pre-sharpened. I don't have a balancer. I have a bench grinder somewhere in the abyss that I will find someday, but it's nowhere handy. So I'm going to put the new blades on, and then once I get everything set up in here, I'm going to practice sharpening and balancing my own blades, and then I'll have a backup set. So I'm going to fire that up and use it to lift this, because this is like 300 pounds. It's insanely heavy. Oh, I also picked up the proper socket at the dealership and a breaker bar for a 1/2 inch drive socket. I didn't get the torque wrench. The jury was kind of out on whether I needed to torque it. I mean, 85 pounds, it's like half my body weight-ish, so, you know, I'm not that concerned about it. But I guess I'll find out later if I should have been. Okay,
that didn't go so poorly. It went quite well, actually. I just had my breaker bar. Didn't take too much effort. I kind of had to spin around in my head which direction to turn it, and I can't actually say that I'm entirely sure that I still know which way it's supposed to go. I think it's the opposite. I think, left loose, right tight. I think it's right loose, left tight. But I'm going to focus on taking one off at a time, replacing it, and putting it all back together. Just in case I screw it up, I have 2 examples of ones I did not screw up. Okay, well, maybe I'll just do kind of a before and after. Let's see, let me stand here, and done. Alright, all sorted out. Here's the old guys. They're pretty dull. I don't know if I can, let's see. Yeah, I mean, you get the idea. It's a dull blade. Otherwise, it went okay. Proper tool, proper job. I'm not totally done though yet. I did decide that I think I am going to get a torque wrench and torque them properly. I also want to get some anti-seize to put on the threads, and these are just normal bolts. It's right tight, left loose. I don't know why I thought it was different, but yeah, they just bolt on normally. Breaker bar help. They're on there pretty tight, so I just don't want to not tighten them enough. So anywho, I'll pick that up tomorrow. At least I know what I'm doing, and I know I have the right tools to do it, so I may as well do it right. Okay, well, it's just raining out tonight, so I think between this, I have one win here, and I guess I'll call it a win in the basement. The real win with the water line will be if I can get the parts I need for this and the parts I need for that in one run to the hardware store, so we'll see. Alright, well, that's it for tonight. Thanks for joining me. See you on the next one. Well, they have drywalled most of the entire garage. And they've done some brickwork. Nice. Yeah, nice looking lip there. I'll have to hose down this corner, but I'd say that brick is pretty dead on. Cool. Let's take a look around the side here. Very pretty. I like the looks of that. It's pretty steep over here. Wow, it's very quiet in here now with the insulation and the drywall up. The birds that were living in here, and I'm surprised they're actually not in here right now. I'm sure they'll be back. But the birds that had been like living in here, and I think they started forming a nest right up behind me, that's all sealed off now, so I think they're pretty upset about it. I think the forestry mulcher may have destroyed their first home, and then like 2 or 3 of them moved here because I may have been responsible for destroying that that home of theirs, and now they've pretty much lost their second home, so sorry. Alright, well, I'm going to try to get this thing wrapped up today because I'm going to have to mow soon, so I bought a proper torque wrench. I bought some anti-seize compound to put on the bolts, which, by the way, the people at Home Depot didn't know what anti-seize was, so they sold me some Loctite instead. They go, you don't want that anti-seize. You want the bolts to stay in there and not vibrate loose. I don't know. I went to the Ace Hardware and they were cool and they knew exactly what I needed, and they hooked me up. So, okay, I'm going to try to make this happen quickly and painlessly. Alright, so I actually read through the owner's manual, surprise, and this deck, and they recommend rotating each one of the blades kind of in a clockwise position. So I'm going to take them off anyway to put some anti-seize on them, so I'm just going to move each one. The only real caveat when doing this that you need to pay attention to, that I'm going to double check, is these washers right here. There's two washers, and apparently they're called cup washers. And they're, I guess, concave inward, so that if my hand were a bowl, that would be the cupped washer, and it would need to go on this way, so that's to put pressure on this piece of metal on the blade to squeeze it all together. So, and I'm going to torque them. I think it says between 72 and 92, so most people just go with 85. So I'm going to shoot for 85 foot-pounds, and I hope it goes okay. Okay, I got everything taken apart. It occurred to me that obviously that rotation rule doesn't apply to me because these are brand new blades. They don't need to be rotated. But when you sharpen them, you're supposed to rotate them. So now I'm going to use the anti-seize on each of the bolts, and I'm going to put the thing back together. I took these collars off. I don't know what they're called, but they go on first. And they were packed with grease, but the grease was super dirty and covered in grass. So I wiped them out and replaced it with the same grease I use in the Zerk fittings, even though I'm pretty sure they're different greases. Oh well. There's a very upset wasp in here flying around. I hope he doesn't take his anger out on me. Whoa, what just happened? My battery died yesterday. We'll get back to that project. I wrapped it all up and it all went just fine, but I didn't have time to charge the camera, bring it back out, stop the project. I just wanted to wrap it up. So we'll get to that. But for now, I need to finish the project that has become the bane of my existence. This situation. Okay, so I bought a new shark bite. I just bit the bullet and bought the proper cutters because I'm trying to eliminate anything that could cause a leak. I really hope it's not that. It didn't look cross-threaded or anything. So I tightened this pretty good by hand. I mean, I really shouldn't have to tighten this connection too much. It's low pressure water system. So I cut off the old mangled piece. That I hit with the drill. So, okay, what I'm going to do now is I have it all hooked up inside here because I'm going to turn the water on and test it before I run it all through there. And I drilled another hole so I can have a little bit more of a straight run going to it outside. This shark bite now will fit through those holes, so once I get it all tested and ensure it's working properly, I'll stick it up there. I just don't want to go through all this again, working up in that tiny space. So I'm going to go turn the water on, we're going to see if it leaks, and if it does, we're probably going to give up on this indefinitely. Maybe. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Okay, well, it is obviously the silcock. Oh man, that's a bummer. Okay, I'm trying it one more time. I did it as though I would do it permanently. I put the tape on, I tightened it as much as it would go, hand tighten, well not hand tighten, I used the wrenches. I went as tight as I could, it stopped, so, you know, I don't know, we'll try it one more time. I can't see anything visibly wrong with these threads, so I don't know why it's leaking, but, alright, we'll fire it up one more time. Alright, I turned it back on, and it's not obviously leaking as bad as it was, but you can see one little droplet forming there. So, you know, I don't know. Okay, so out of nothing more than sheer frustration, I decided to just give it the beans and tighten the crap out of it with my wrenches. And I mean, I cranked this thing down, and I think now it's actually has stopped leaking. I guess I was just surprised how much it took to attach this without leaking. I mean, again, this is not a high pressure system. It's a standard household, I don't know, couple 10 to 20 psi. Okay, I promise this will be the last time I bother you with this project. This is it. I was impatient. I decided not to wait. I just got it all hooked up. Pretty much, I bought one of those shark bite release. It's just a little U-shaped piece of plastic. Right there. So I just released the pipe from the thing, pushed the silcock with the shark bite on it through here, connected it. I'm gonna leave this piece of paper towel here and like check it in 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever, just see if it's damp. There's currently, yeah, still dry, still good. Have ample play. So nothing's binding anymore. I think we're done here. The water's turned on, it's flowing outside, and I am done dealing with it. I still have I have all the clips to tie in. They're just little U-shaped things with a nail in them to tie them into the rafters. I'll go around the whole basement and do that on another day, and I probably won't include you on that boredom. So, done with this. I promise I'm moving on to something else now. Thanks. Okay, well, here's where I so rudely left you yesterday. Pretty much I finished up torquing all the bolts, put them at 85 foot-pounds, got all that hooked back up. I even tested it, just ran it, you know, here in the garage, and it seemed to be working just fine. There was one kind of funny thing I did. I hooked up everything, all the linkages, and I went over the tractor, hooked it all up, but I forgot to put the what's it called? The drive shaft. So it's a two-piece drive shaft. One piece attaches on there, and then there's a bunch of I guess keyed. I don't know what it's called when the ends of it are fluted, but you know, the two pieces connect together, and the end piece that has the U joint, which you can't really see,
I was holding in my hand while this was all here, so I had to get under there and grab the drive shaft and slip it on and match up the keys. It was a bit of a process.
But then again, this whole maintenance thing was quite a process. I was, you know, I'm used to maintaining like crappy little lawnmowers, you know, like that guy right there, where, you know, you can just kind of run them hard and put them away wet. And, you know, if they blow up or die in a few years, nowadays they're like $150 for a lawnmower. This equipment is a little different. You gotta maintain it, and you gotta maintain it right, and you gotta have the right tools, which are not cheap. So anyway, it's all a learning process, but I'm happy to be doing it because I'm learning something, doing something new, it's a skill. And you feel good when it's all done. You're like, you know what, I took care of that. And when this tractor has 300 and 500 and 700 hours on it and it's still running, you know, I plan on doing probably all the maintenance. I might send it off for oil and hydro changes. I don't know. It just depends how I'm feeling and what I'm doing in life. But anyway, I think we're good to go on this. We got fresh blades, and I was gonna start cutting today, but I can't get out of my garage. There's a pile of concrete. I mean, I guess I could take apart their little stool. That's a pallet full of concrete. I don't even know if I can get by that pile. So I might just wait till tomorrow, and well, I'll show you the inside of the garage first. They mudded today. They finished up all the drywall, got it mudded. It's looking pretty good. And then on the outside, they got about half of the front wall done. So this whole front facade here is going to be brick, so that it matches up, and they're going to build an arch over the top of each one so that it matches this arch going on there. And let's see what they did. I haven't actually looked at the other side. I bet they're done with it. Yeah. Nice. And then that'll just be white shiplap. Let's see here. Yeah. Got a nice little pitch to it, so all the rain and snow that hits will fall off easily. And I'm sure bees and wasps will make little nests under here and attack me when I'm lawn mowing. Cool. Got that little plug right here. And that's my view of the backyard. My future compost tumblers. I'm slowly acquiring all the pieces for that. I don't want to get everything at once because then I have a pile of stuff and it just fills me with guilt every time I see it. So I just bought the caster wheels for it. Like 2 weeks ago I bought the paint for it. Anyway, it's overwhelming nowadays going into a store like Home Depot because you just see all these things. You're like, oh, I do have a project where I need that. And like, oh, I do need that tool. You know, especially when I was like buying the 1/2-inch torque wrench. I'm like, oh, I should just buy the sockets. But, you know, when you're spending $100 on a wrench, it's like, maybe I'll just wait. Like, I justify buying that tool for that project because I'm doing it myself. So whenever I need a different size 1/2-inch socket, I'll buy it and justify it at that time. Although I'm pretty sure I do have to check the torque on these. I certainly have this size. I might have this. I might be able to, well, so yeah, now here's the problem. Those are probably 3/4-inch bolts, but I have a 1/2-inch torque wrench, so I think now I need to buy a 3/4-inch torque wrench. I'll have to ask my wife about it. I need to get permission because I've spent a lot on tools. All right, well, like I said, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this today. I definitely want to be able to do it by this weekend. I need to be able to mow, and I want to get this. I don't know if I've shown you this.
This is the Ratchet Rake. The end of it clips on to the edge of my bucket, and then there's these heavy-duty straps and whatnot that secure it on here. And pretty much these teeth face the ground. They'll be like this, and then these big teeth back here point outward like this, so that if you tip your bucket with the big teeth, you can hit various debris. Allegedly it'll go through small saplings. You can dig up roots, dig up rocks. You can do all sorts of stuff with it from the videos I've been watching, and I think it's going to work perfectly out where I had the forestry mulcher clear everything along the property. There's a lot of roots and a bunch of crap sticking up. So I'm going to try to smooth it out with this thing. It was either this or like a landscape rake, but there's some pretty gnarly stuff back there. You know, but outside of there being like logs and very large sticks, there's rocks and some pretty big roots. So we're going to try that. And then hopefully that, you know, then the smaller teeth you back drag with. I think you can push them forward, but I can use that to kind of grade, finely grade things. I have a feeling when they're done with all their garage, it's probably going to be pretty rough around the apron of the outside, so I'm probably going to have to do some work, some dirt work with this guy. So that's that. Oh, what else? I got that running. Happy to say, I got this machine going. I used like half a can of gum out. And it wasn't even starting. I mean, it was thoroughly clogged. And this is the motor and impeller assembly for the Cyclone rake, which got me like one pass last time I tried to mow before it promptly died. So yeah, it's running good. I sprayed the whole thing down with engine degreaser, so it cleaned it up real nice, so I could actually see what I was working on. This was all just black and covered in garbage. So I cleaned it all up. I got it going. It was just idling real rough, and I was just hitting it with the gum out, and it seemed to be running okay. So I think this will be ready to go when I need it. I finally got this thing running too. Same process. Used a little bit of gum out, although I don't think it needed it. What it really needed was there's a special carburetor adjustment tool. This one happens to be called a Pac-Man, I think. Yeah. This is a Pac-Man, and you know, in each of these carburetors, you're not going to be able to see it, but there's 3 different settings. There's a screw there that controls pretty much the throttle idle, like how where your machine idles at. But then there's 2 different valves that control the flow of air through the carburetor. One is like a low setting and one is a high setting. So like when you're idling, you can adjust how much fuel's coming in, and then that screw adjusts how much probably air or how much throttle. I don't really know. Anyway, all I know is that there were 3 variables I had to get all perfectly aligned to get it to idle and then run at speed properly. And I must have spent a half hour monkeying with this machine, but I think I got it going. It's very temperamental. I was reading about these things online, like if you can adjust them right, they're good machines, but getting them to that point takes probably as much patience as running a water line from one end of your house to the other. The good news is I acquired this freely because the last gentleman, who was a friend of the family, well, he was having the same problem. He thought there was bad gas in it and that there were other issues because it wouldn't run. It would run for 10 minutes and then it wouldn't run on high. So the good news is I've got this going. I've got that going. I've got everything ready. I've prepped that. I mean, this should be a grass cutting machine now. If only I could get out of my garage. My garage mahal. I've built myself a castle with a moat and I can't escape. But that's for the short term, so I'm just going to use today as an excuse to go do something fun. And I think that's going to be a bike ride. The doctor says I can ride bikes and it shouldn't hurt my back, but running currently is not a good idea because of the pounding on the lower back area. But enough about me. I think that's all. If I find anything cool, I'll bring you along. Otherwise, thanks for listening to me talk for like the past 10 minutes. I hope you're having a good day. I'll see you on the next one. Pac-Man says goodbye. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Hi. Real quick, good news. It's the next day, and this is totally dry. So I think we're all good here. There does not appear to be any leaks, and that makes me a happy camper. Go check it outside. Alright, here's the real test. So I just hooked up my drip line, which runs all the way over to the garden. So I'm going to turn this bad bear on, and we'll see how the drip line's doing. See if there's any leaks or holes. This is the reason I went through this entire ordeal, was so I could water the garden off of the just straight well water, not softened water, none of that drama. I'm gonna run over to the garden and see what it's doing. Well, I can hear it pressurizing. I can hear a little whistling noise as it fills up the pipes. It's looking good. I always get nervous. It makes these little pinches when there's no water in it and it heats up. It kind of expands and pinches out. But I think this is working okay. And I've got a lot of it buried. It's the first time I'm kind of trying that out. Last year I just left it on top and hope for the best. Yeah, here we go. Getting some water coming out here at the ends. Alright, well I think I'm gonna let this run for about an hour, and hopefully that'll help things out. Yeah, I can hear it all pressurizing through here, and it looks like a lot of the piping, a lot of the drip tape is flattening out. Cool. It's like 11 o'clock in the morning. Not the best time to be watering, but I think it's better than nothing. Just getting a little water in the ground because it's been a few days since it's. Oh, that's no good. All right, that's got to be fixed. All right, well, that's the only one of those I see so far. Okay, well, I'm going to continue to monitor this, and I think I'm going to go try to make a video with some of this stuff. So, hope you're having a great day, and more to come on the drip tape in the garden and all the things. Have a good day. I'll see you on the next one. May as well just get this sorted out now. It still appears to be the only one leaking, so I'm going to try to Gorilla Tape it. Alright, well, that slowed it down, I think, enough. I'm pretty sure it's still running underneath and just dumping out here, but it's at least dumping all the water into the bed now, which is more of what I wanted. Once I shut it off, I gotta go look up the proper way to fix this. I know it came with some plugs or something that you can do something with, or maybe I might cut it and put an adapter in. But that at least keeps it from spraying everywhere. I was actually surprised at how much pressure that thing was putting out. But yeah, it's still running pretty good. Maybe I'll put another line of tape on there. Okay, that's all for now though. I gotta head in. See ya.